Greetings, AMCers. I am Roth Cornett here with John Campia, AMC Senior Editor. Hey, listen, The Dark Knight Rises, the final installation in the Chris Nolan Batman trilogy, is coming up on July 20th, and I know a lot of people around here and out there are excited about this. Even more exciting than that is that AMC has the Dark Knight trilogy, which is Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, all in IMAX. Batman Begins has been remastered in IMAX. Tickets are available now. You can go to the AMC Theaters website, get your tickets now. They're going to go really fast. And basically, it is the night of Thursday night, the night before The Dark Knight Rises opens, and it starts at 6 o'clock in the evening, leading up to the midnight premiere of The Dark Knight Rises. We're going to be there.
Yes.
It's going to be a really huge night for us. Get excited. And then in honor of the final culmination of this franchise, last week we did a video about which director should take over when they inevitably reboot the franchise within probably the next 6 months.
Yeah, probably.
But more importantly than that is who should be the next Batman. So let's start off, John. We're going to debate it out, see who wins. Mono E, Womano, you start.
All right, well, first of all, before I go into my list of five, who I could see play this, let me preface this by saying what my prerequisites, what I'm looking for in the next Batman.
Okay.
First, and these may sound obvious, but a lot of people, when I hear people's picks, it's like they're not taking these two things in consideration, and you must. First thing you got to take into consideration, number one, he's got to be able to play slick and suave. In other words, he's got to be able to be a great Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
You cannot be an actor playing Batman unless you can pull off the playboy millionaire or billionaire, whatever he is now, of Bruce Wayne. So that's very key. One of the other things, though, that people do not take in consideration, and I've had this debate with people before, people telling me, oh, Batman doesn't have to be that big. Baloney. Batman has to be the most physically dominating, intimidating physical figure on the face of the earth. If you look at any incarnation of Batman, aside from Adam West, whatever drawing, whatever images of Batman you look at, he is this huge, hulking, physically perfection specimen that has to bring fear. Look, it's not the black suit that intimidates criminals. It's the sheer physical size of Batman. Now, I'm not saying you got to go out and get Brock Lesnar or, the new Mr. Olympia to play Batman, but at least it's got to be somebody who you can pass off and say, hey, this is a physically intimidating guy.
Right.
At least that. And one of my big problems with The Dark Knight, which I love The Dark Knight, was that Christian Bale actually lost weight.
Right. Well,
and became a skinnier, scrawnier Batman, which I don't dig that personally. So those are my prerequisites. Also, as a third one, actually as a little asterisk to those two prerequisites, get rid of the Christian Bale Batman voice.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
He doesn't have to talk like this. Now, I understand people saying, well, if you're going to be believable, he has to talk in a voice that nobody can recognize. Really? We buy that Clark Kent can put on a pair of glasses and nobody recognizes him as Superman. It's okay. We suspend disbelief a little bit when we're watching Batman. So please change that voice. But anyway, that being said, and as a side note, I actually love Christian Bale as Batman. It's just I just don't like the voice.
Nobody likes the voice.
Let me go into my 5 picks. With those two things in mind, let me go into my 5 picks. I'm going to start with an obvious one because he is a great actor, because he is probably one of the most suave guys out there right now, and he not only is physically cut, but has the body frame that he can put on a lot more weight. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
A terrific actor. He's obviously the slick. I mean, you look at films like the one he just did with Ides of March. Ides of March. He can be very slick, cool-looking dude. And then you go to a film like Drive. He can be very dark. He can be very menacing. Yeah. He's got a great physique, and he's got the type of body frame he could easily put on 20 more pounds of muscle like that.
Okay.
And he's a terrific actor. So Ryan Gosling is my obvious one. Now, there's kind of two categories I got here. I got kind of younger, kind of older. Let me go with a slightly older one. Luke Evans is a guy, he of course played Zeus in Immortals. He was in that horrible, terrible Three Musketeers film last year. He was just in The Crow. I love this guy. I think he is a terrific talent. He's got a great look. He's got that very suave, maybe a little too English looking, but that aside, suave look for Bruce Wayne. He's a big dude. I think he can be very menacing. He's very good at action. So Luke Evans is another guy I would look at for Batman. Number 3 is a guy who was already picked to be Batman once, which is Armie Hammer.
Okay.
Playing the Winklevoss twins. Playing the Winklevoss twins in The Social Network. Brilliant performance. Yes. He's got that Bruce Wayne millionaire look. He's a very physically big guy, and he's got chops.
Yeah.
He is on the younger end, but if that's the way they want to go with a Batman on the younger end, I would definitely look at Armie Hammer. And I mentioned he was already picked once to play Batman a few years ago. Warner Brothers, as you and I know, had an idea for a Justice League movie. They cast Batman as this unknown guy at the time, Armie Hammer, which nobody had heard of at the time. But he was picked to play Batman once, and he could probably do it again. Another pick that I don't think a lot of guys, the fourth guy on my list would be Charlie Hunnam from television's Sons of Anarchy. Mm-hmm. Great look. He plays this biker dude. He's very growly kind of voice, very naturally. He's a big guy, but he's not that tall. But neither was Michael Keaton, and neither is Christian Bale.
Yeah.
So he's not that tall of a dude, that physically present, but I think he could pull it off well. My fifth pick is a little bit out in left field. There has been talk for a long time that Will Smith both wanted to play Captain America and has wanted to play Batman. Now, there is a whole debate there about taking classic characters and changing the races, whether you're taking a Hispanic character and making him a white actor, or taking a white character and making a black actor, or whatever. That debate aside,
right?
If you want to go in that direction, Will Smith is not your guy.
No.
Idris Elba
Absolutely.
is your guy. This, number one, he is Charles Minor. He is the slickest guy who can make every woman in the office fall in love with him. But he is also Heimdall. He is also Luthor. He is this huge, physically intimidating dude who would scare the crap out of you if you ran into him in a dark alley as Batman. So look, look, like I said, putting the debate aside about ethnic backgrounds for the characters, if you want to go in that direction, it's not Will Smith to play Batman. It is Idris Elba. Those are my five guys.
I absolutely have to agree about Idris Elba. Was actually one of my favorite parts of Prometheus. He just is such a stellar actor all the time, no matter what he's doing. And I agree with you. When I thought you were going to go for Will Smith, and I said, no, this guy does not. He's
neither Bruce Wayne nor is he Batman. Yeah,
you know, he's lovely as what he is, but he's so light, and Batman needs he needs that darker, grittier element to him. So Idris Elba, I think, is really interesting. We do have a couple of people crossing over. The first person I'm going to say is going to break your initial rule, but I'll tell you, I'm going to debate your initial rule about the size of Batman, because if you've ever seen a movie called American History X, you know that a very slender man can beef up to extraordinary degrees. Also, if you've ever seen what Tom Hardy looked like in Star Trek, I mean, he was a pretty, he was a pretty slender dude, and now he is Bane. He is just yoked, massive, ripped to shreds. So I think that people can bulk up. So listen, there's
certain people can.
Certain people can.
Not everybody.
This one you're going to argue with me with, but there is, of course, a huge rumor going on that this Batman, that The Dark Knight Rises is actually seeding the next Batman, because it's, of course, taking elements from different comics, and one of which is about Bane, but where Batman is not just Bruce Wayne, you guys. I mean, Batman is replaced over and over again, and the idea is that it's possible that in this film they're seeding the very next Batman, who will not be Bruce Wayne, actually, and that is rumored to be Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Now, when they were casting Spider-Man,
horrible choice, by the way. Horrible.
If they were listen to me. When they were casting Spider-Man, I actually thought if he had been younger, he'd be a great Spider-Man. I thought initially, can he really, he's so tiny, you know, I mean, he's wonderful, such a good actor, but he's so little. Could he really pull this off? I have seen the images and some of the footage from Looper, and I honestly now think he could. I really think that they could both bulk him up and shoot it so that he does look bigger than he is, and that he can pull off the darker edge. Now, so that's one person that it's rumored to be that it will be Batman. Whether it will be or not, we're not sure. Now, the second person that I would love to see as Batman, that I think has the sex appeal of the playboy of Bruce Wayne and also has the darker edge, is Michael Fassbender. I think he would be an incredible Batman. The problem is he's Magneto. And I think that basically the unwritten law at this point is that you are the star of a superhero franchise, or one of the stars. You can't cross over. The only time you can do it is if you're Ryan Reynolds, you know, and you were Deadpool in a more minor role.
Or if you're Captain America and Johnny Blaze.
Fair
Or
enough.
Johnny Storm, I mean.
You could be Johnny Storm and Captain America, but I think the reason that you could be Johnny Storm and Captain America is because A, time had passed, and B, it wasn't quite as big as Captain America is. So those are the way. But X-Men was pretty, it did very well.
Yes, and he's doing more.
He's doing more. So I'm not sure that would really work. Again, if you went older, as you were saying, and you did a Batman Returns kind of a movie, I think there are two people that would be fabulous. One is Viggo Mortensen, but he may be a little too old. I mean, you'd really have to have an older Batman. And the second one that I really love would be Guy Pearce, who was set to be the Batman
before Christian Bale
got the part. I think he could be a wonderful both Bruce Wayne and Batman. The other one, of course, as you said, is if you're going younger, Ryan Gosling.
Is a no-brainer.
I think he's just a no-brainer. He does have the depth. He does have the edge. He's a fabulous actor.
Yeah.
He's incredibly talented. If you look at Drive, like we were saying, he certainly does have that edge of danger, but it's sort of buffered with this slick. See, even when he's being violent in Drive, there's something incredibly restrained and interesting about his violence that I think would lend itself very well to the kind of dichotomy that's going on within Bruce Wayne, in his character and his psyche. So I think he'd be fabulous. I do think you probably have to make his hair darker. I know that's such a little minor thing,
You
but
can do that with everybody, though. I know. You know what? I like your picks. I mean,
Armie
I take
Hammer was George Miller's choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was, and that's why he was going to be in that Justice League movie.
Do you think he has the edge?
I do. I think he can. I just look. I've read the Joseph Gordon-Levitt stuff, and I've read Michael Fassbender a lot. Michael Fassbender to me is just too naturally body framed, slender of a guy. I just don't see him as that. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's maybe in the Smurfs. I don't know, but I just can't see him as Batman.
Batman,
I just can't see it, or even as somebody who takes over for Batman. But you're not alone in your thoughts on those ones.
Yeah.
And I do like your other picks as well. But listen, folks, we want to know, what do you think? Who do you think would make a really solid Batman in the post-Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale Batman era? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget that Batman tickets are on sale right now. You can go to amctheaters.com and get your tickets for The Dark Knight Rises and for the Batman trilogy that Roth was talking about. Don't forget to get your movie tickets, movie news, and everything you need every day 24/7 at amctheaters.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and do not forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. For Roth Cornett, my name's John Campion. Until next time, bye-bye.